Really special. And think about 3 years ago, if you would have said you're going to be 2 seed in the NCAA tournament in year 3 and lead the Big 12 in wins, and I would have thought, well, we would have won a Big 12 championship. But now, goofy year with that. But if someone would have told me that, I would have taken it all day long and more. So I think we've got such an awesome group of human beings in this program, and guys that care so much and care about each other, the humility they have towards each other in the game, and the respect for the opponent and all those things. They've really just embodied all the things that are great about college baseball. So very, very proud moment. We knew we were in, but you could see the guys getting restless with not, were we the last team?
Yeah.
Yeah, glad we were in. But yes, really special. You guys know I'm not super reflective. I need to do a better job of that. But that was a moment I'll always remember.
What was it like getting to see your guys experience that, especially some of the ones that you had with you for a long time?
Oh, that's the best part. Yeah, that's the best part. Lord willing, I get to keep coaching for a long time, but for some of these guys, it's their last run at it, and their only time they get to play in this thing. And so, for the 4 guys that started with us, it's incredibly gratifying to watch them. And then, it's interesting. We had a couple guys that we were talking in the hotel the other night and talking about playing baseball this time of year, and one of them was like, "Coach, I've never played in a conference tournament." And to see the joy they're having playing, and for it to mean so much, we do this job for a million reasons, but that's obviously near the top of the list, just to see the joy and to see them fulfill some dreams. So yeah, really, really special.
Do you get the sense that they're not just satisfied with seeing their name on that board, but actually making some noise in the postseason?
Yeah, they love playing baseball. If we could play right now, they'd play it. This thing in their mind is just getting started, and we've talked all year about playing our best baseball at the end, and so we need to trend in that direction, which we certainly have. But yeah, we'll have a great practice today. They're ready to go.
What do you think about the draw, Creighton going to Fayetteville?
Yeah, I mean, you look through this tournament, and there's, and this is true of the NCAA tournament, there's never a regional where you're like, oh man, that's an easy one for so-and-so. They're all tough. Creighton is a really good team and playing really good baseball. They've got a fantastic coaching staff. Coach Service, what a cool accomplishment for him to go in his final year. He's a Hall of Fame coach, and he might be the greatest defensive teacher in college baseball history. Certainly top 5. Like he is such an incredible tactician on the defensive side. So they present issues there because they give you nothing. And Billy Mulder, pitching coach, is a guy that I've known forever. He was at Illinois State and we coached against each other. He does a great job. Coach Kingston, coming over from South Carolina. So they've got a great staff. They're very talented. And Arkansas, obviously a really good team, and as they set up there, maybe the most complete team in the tournament. I think you could say that about 5 or 6 teams that have performed at a really high level. And then North Dakota State, they've got some really good pitching. They've got a guy that can make an argument for being one of the top pitchers in this regional. If you think about the 4 teams in it, that's saying something. So it's 4 teams that are very fundamental, and you look at the schedule that North Dakota State plays, and they're not going to be wowed by the lights or the big crowd. They play a tough schedule. They're really well coached. Their head guy is a guy I've known forever, and he's the son of Todd Oaks, who was the longtime pitching coach at the University of Minnesota, who passed away a few years ago, and phenomenal young coach who's done an amazing job since taking over at North Dakota State. So it's 4 really good teams, and which is exactly what you want. You want to go to a regional where you got to compete at the highest level. That's literally the highest form of sport is going up against the best. So we're thrilled and couldn't be more excited to get to Fayetteville.
Did you do any scouting of any teams you thought you could potentially face, or is that starting now?
I think the last couple weeks you start to look at, where the regional thing is very true in college baseball, where, in basketball, you guys could tell me better, but it's 1 through 16, and then you kind of snake it back, and so theoretically 17 is playing 16 and 15 is playing 15 or whatever the math is on that. In baseball, you've got 16, and then it really is regional. And so I had a pretty good feel that we were going to go to Arkansas if we didn't host, and then once we got beat on Friday, I thought hosting was going to be tough. So I kind of thought we were headed to Arkansas based off the regional thing. They try to not send teams to the same place 2 years in a row, so I thought it was unlikely that K-State would go there. So you start mixing and matching, and so yeah, we've certainly taken a look at Arkansas and started on that. In terms of Creighton and North Dakota State, that'll start today. But we're obviously familiar with Creighton. We played them it was last year or the year before, so there's familiarity with a lot of their players.
When did you feel that you guys were safely in this field, that you didn't have to worry about it?
I thought Saturday when we beat BYU, I felt like we were in. After the first win against West Virginia, I knew we were in. But it's funny how much it swings. You go into West Virginia, thinking 1 for sure locks us as a 2 seed, and then you sweep and you're like, man, we might host this thing, and then you go to the Big 12 tournament, well, we're winning, we might be a national seed. So it swings so far. But I think the walk-off against BYU was kind of when I thought, okay, we're in this thing. I didn't tell the players that. In fact, I didn't tell anyone that. I'm telling you guys that, but that was kind of the moment that I thought.
Were you surprised that the Big 12 got shut out of hosting completely?
Yeah, I'm not on the committee. Wish I was. That'd make this a lot simpler. But yeah, I don't know all the dynamics of it. But when you look at 8 teams in the NCAA tournament, in the 3rd toughest conference in the country, in the gauntlet that we all have to go through playing each other, it's shocking to me that we don't have one. Now, I think it points to the parity inside the league where, the league champ, us sweeping them, and then I think if West Virginia wins the Big 12 tournament, they host. I think we probably host if we win it, and TCU clearly hosts if they win it. I thought TCU was 100% going to host, and I actually thought there was some in some of the comments, reading about the potential host sites last night. I kind of rushed past that one, going, well, TCU's obviously going to host. But yeah, very surprising. And at the same time, when you look at all 16 hosts, it's hard to think of one you'd take out. I mean, they're all incredibly deserving. I was in Missouri Valley Conference at DBU for a long time, and we did host, and there was a year that we hosted and Missouri State hosted in 2015, and that's similar to with Southern Miss and Coastal, both incredibly deserving. Hard to say UCLA shouldn't. So yes, now the solution to it is Mike Rooney's plan of 64 teams in the first round being 32 hosts with the 2 of 3 series, and then you move to 16, and then you move to Omaha, which makes complete total sense. It is an odd sport that you play a weekend series the entire year, and then you get to this time, you're like, let's do a 14 tournament. So, I do think that hopefully our sport does evolve, because you think about if there are 32 host sites this weekend, the excitement that brings to college baseball would be, amazing.
What is making the first NCAA tournament for this program since 2014 mean to you?
Man, incredibly proud. exactly what we came here to do and more. So, you know, I was frustrated last year that we weren't in, not because I mean, we put ourselves in a position last year to not be in. I could list off 3 games right now that, gosh, I wish we could go back and play them literally this afternoon. But I was frustrated last year, but knew that we had put the program forward. So coming into this year, we knew we were a regional team. It was just about going out and executing. And if you think about how we did execute, it's pretty fantastic. You know, that we won the games we were supposed to win, and the times that we stubbed our toes, I mean, you can count them. So this is incredibly fulfilling, and you know, I for my staff, you know, Coyne went to a regional in 2013 when he was at Wichita State, but the rest of my staff, this is their first regional. So incredible excitement for them. And then you think about, you know, the support that Travis has given us, the vision that he has for the athletic department, the things that he's doubled down with in baseball, in the way that he has backed us and said that we're going to make this possible. So it's literally everyone, which is why, you know, when we talked about the watch party today, I told Marbach, I said, invite the world, man. Like this is everyone. This is academics. This is KU leads. This is our administration. Heck, we even let BP come to this thing. So but no, this is incredible. But also, I say this very, very humbly, like not surprising because of the people in this program. Like if you guys knew if you knew my staff and knew the way they work and the way they go about it, and their obsession with making this great, and then our players and their obsession with making it great, it's not surprising given who they are.
Anything else, Coach?